questions. And one lovely member asked the question, should we always, this is Thoughtful Thursday, by the way. Sorry, my jet lag kicked in like an hour ago, real bad. And this morning I thought I had totally kicked it. I woke up like so energized, and then I'm like, whoa. Anyway, so Thoughtful Thursday. Should you always avoid setting a goal when you're manifesting, even if it's long term? So the question was, what if I want to manifest something by the time my son is in middle school? Okay, so it seems kind of vague, it seems kind of loosey-goosey, but it is really, really straightforward. So that's why I wanted to address it by talking about it, because it was such a great question. So, okay, you never have to avoid setting a deadline for your manifestation request if you can set the deadline or ask for the manifestation request and then completely let it go. And when I say completely let it go, I mean that you're able to say to yourself, okay, it may or may not happen within that time frame. And if it doesn't, then that's not part of the universe's timing. And I'm 100% A-okay with that. Okay. If you can do that, go ahead and ask for all the time-based manifestation deadlines in the world. Here's why I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend doing that because the moment you have a time in mind, whether it's 24 hours, by next week, this year, within 5 years, by the time my son graduates high school, whatever it is, the moment you have a time frame in mind, you unconsciously begin to create a set of expectations. You unconsciously begin to believe that it will and must happen by this time. Okay. What that does is it tends to create some kind of fear-based or anxiety-based set of emotions and beliefs. What if it doesn't happen? Or what am I supposed to do? You might go into hustle, you might go into forcing. You certainly will come out of surrender. Or you'll go into complete helplessness and forget that you have power and forget that you have intuition and forget that you are the captain of your own ship and you decide your destiny. Okay, so as soon as we set a time-based deadline and that expectation is created, we actively stop the universe from being able to work magic. It's not as hard and fast of a rule as that, because as long as you can mostly let it go, you can allow the universe to do some magical work within your environment. But most of the time, setting a time-based deadline sets you up for disappointment. Okay. How do you know if you set a time-based deadline? If you get to that deadline and the thing hasn't happened, you'll be disappointed. Or if you think about getting to that deadline and the thing that you're asking for hasn't been created, or you hasn't been given to you in your life yet, you assume this doesn't work. Nothing works. Or I did it wrong. Something's wrong with me. I didn't do it right. Okay. Or I'm broken. Everybody else gets this stuff, but not me. Okay. As soon as you create a set of expectations that has a deadline, you are setting yourself up for disappointment. What if, precious one, that's not the universe's deadline or timeline? What if the universe has something wildly different in mind? Or has an entire set of experiences that you're supposed to have before you can have that thing? You don't know it. Fine, you're not supposed to know it. But it's very arbitrary to set a deadline, whether it's short or long, because we have no way of knowing what kind of timeframes can be collapsed in order to bring our request quicker, or whether the deadline that we've picked simply isn't on the universe's timeline. Maybe the person who has to make that decision hasn't even been born yet. Maybe that person who is in charge of making a series of decisions hasn't been employed with that company that gets to make those decisions. You see what I'm saying? Like, we actually live within such a grand sphere, surrounded by 8 billion people, and all of our fates are intricately interwoven. Everything is designed as a beautiful tapestry. We're not operating as a lone island, right? So it's not just we want this and it has to be delivered. No, there's a series of people and decisions and lessons and choices that are being made every single microsecond of every single day. That's totally out of our hands. That's totally out of our awareness, right? So what do I do? Let's say that, okay, so my new thing is I want a private jet membership. On the way back from England, sitting in economy, I'm like, I can't do this again. But I have to. My whole family is in England. I want to see my nieces and nephews grow up. So what do? Well, I am going to create desirable circumstances. I will not fly lower than business class because I need to be able to lie down. My issue is my back, my tailbone. And I just want more space. I want more space to stretch out and things like that. So that's like number one. But I would love to have a private jet membership, and then there's all the space in the world, and then Serafina and I can get up and walk around, and Jim, if he's with us, and the other kiddos, if they're with us, we can have lots of space, we can have lots of privacy. This is my desired outcome. I would love for it to happen as soon as possible. I would love for it to happen in 2023, if that's even possible. So how I make my request is, please, may I have the funds to not only pay for the private jet membership, but also to pay for the flights, because you have to pay for those separately. You just get a massive discount for having the membership. I would like all of those resources in order to be able to spend more time with my family. Please, I would like them on the quickest deadline available. That is the least jarring. Okay, so when you ask for the absolute quickest deadline, you're asking for also the most jarring path, okay? In order to collapse timeframes, there's a lot of stuff that has to happen, and usually it's like bouncy, right? It's really, really, really uncomfortable. You can ask a few people who've asked for the quickest only, because it is the quickest, but it also is the most uncomfortable, dare I say it, even the most painful. Okay, so I always like the sweet spot. I don't want the most gentle, right? Because the most gentle might be 20 years. Who's got that kind of time? So I don't want the most gentle. I want the sweet spot between the quickest and the least jarring. So whatever the most gentle way possible that I can get there the quickest is, that's where I hang out. That's my sweet spot. So I would like my private jet membership on the quickest timeline that is the least jarring. That way I don't have to set any kind of deadline, because I'm well aware that if the universe desires for me to have that membership by March, it'll provide the funds for me. Simple. If the universe decides that I need to have a little bit more humility with my international travel, it will extend that, because there's more lessons that I'm going to have to learn before that happens. So they're telling me I can have it soon. Yay! They're like, phew. They want me close to my family also. Thank goodness. So that's my long answer to a short question. You can do whatever you like. However, the moment you set a time-based deadline, you're creating a series of expectations and unwanted rippling effects that are essentially handicapping the universe. Why do that? Why risk the universe taking longer to bring you the thing that you want? And then the second part to that question was great. which was the member, I think her name was Jennifer. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance to look before I went live. Mentioned that she's very unclear about what exactly she wants. So when you are unclear, the universe has nothing to give you. Now, she's in the process of working on it, which is excellent. That's the best that we've got, right? When we don't know what we want, the best that we can do is figure it out. Just think about it. We ask for something, that's actually not what I expected it to be. Let's ask for something else. We ask for something else. We ask for something else. Since abundance is infinite, you can ask for as many things as you want. There is no cap. Also, when you ask for something and receive it, you're not depleting any resources from other people being able to get that thing. So, but in order to give you what you want, you actually have to ask for the specific thing that you want. Otherwise, the universe is like, ideal life, I don't know, man. Like there's so many different options that each individual person would consider as their ideal life. Lots of people wouldn't consider their ideal life to be in California. I will live here until the day I die. I'll at least own a home here because I freaking love California, especially Southern California. But that doesn't mean I won't travel, right? But there's lots of people who that would not be their ideal life. So that's why the universe needs us to be specific, because one person might want $10 million and the other person might just want $10,000 a month. And that would be plenty. You see what I'm saying? So definitely get nice and specific with your requests. I'm going to be doing lots of stuff together about manifesting over the next few months. I'm so excited. I'm going to be doing a class. I haven't announced it yet. I'm not going to announce it until at least another week or two. I'm going to be doing a class called Manifesting 2023 on January 25th for $27. Actually, I should make it $23. Yeah, I should make it $23. That's what it's gonna be. I don't know why that was so hard for me to figure out. Okay, anyway, that's it for thought. Oh my gosh, sorry ladies if you're watching this, I'm so late for girls' night. Anyway, so that's it for Thoughtful Thursday. What? See you soon, and have an amazing night.